Okay, today we're going to be talking about the mobile Linux and macOS operating systems. Now, talking about the mobile phones, which is our Android phones and our iPhones. Okay, so but I'll be doing basically practical. So today we're just going to cover just the mobile, and we're going to leave Linux and Mac operating system for our next class. So we'll be learning the mobile operating system, method of securing your mobile devices, Linux and Mac operating system in our next class, and troubleshooting processes for other systems. Okay, so let's look at our mobile operating system. So one thing we need to know about our mobile operating system is that we have just basically two, although then we used to have Windows operating system for mobile devices, but that has been stopped. So we're just going to stick to Android and iOS, which this course covers. So one thing we need to know about these two operating systems are the fact that one is actually open source and one is closed source. So like desktop and laptop, mobile devices use an operating system, which I just said. So before you can analyze and modify softwares, they must be able to see the source code. When a developer chooses to provide the source code, the software is said to be open source. When the programmer's source code is not published, the software is said to be closed source. So this means that for most our Android devices, the developers will actually give out the source code, which is the program they actually wrote that makes these applications to work or function. But that's for our iPhones. These applications are withheld from outsiders. So that's why it's called closed source. And one thing we need to know is that Android is developed by Google and iOS is developed by Apple. So applications are written and compiled for a specific mobile operating system, such as Apple's iOS or Android or Windows. So mobile devices come with a number of different apps pre-installed or provide basic functionality. So just like we have on our different devices, as you can even see here, we have let me get my pen. I don't know why. Okay, it's going off now. Okay, so as you can see here, this is an example of an iOS device that has apps. So these are the applications that are available on the App Store, and for an Android device, these are the applications that are available on the Google Play Store or Google Play. So apps for Apple iOS mobile device are available for free or purchase from the App Store, like I said. So apps use a walled garden model for their Apple uses a walled garden model for their apps, meaning that the apps must be submitted to an Apple approved must be submitted to and approved by Apple before they are released to users. So this helps prevent spread of malware and malicious codes. So Android apps are available from both Google Play and third-party sites such as Amazon App Stores. So you can see that for the Android devices, you can actually program your own applications and install them on your mobile device. But in shortly from now, I'm going to connect my mobile devices so that I can explain some of all these things practically. Okay, so Android apps run in a sandbox and have only the privileges enabled by the user. So third-party or custom programs are installed directly. using an Android application package. So, which means that that's why when you let me say you download an application on your Android device, your phone is going to ask you, give permission, permit so app, or let me say you open WhatsApp for your first time, so ask you allow WhatsApp to use your camera. So you're going to click allow. So it's only those services that you allow or permit your phone to use or your Android device to use that are going to be made available to the application on your Android device. So let's look at the home screen. Okay, let me just quickly log into my mobile device so that I can just show everything from here. Okay, while my iOS device is setting up, let's just continue. All right, so just like on our Android phones, we have navigation keys, which comprises of the home, the back button, the reset apps button. Also, we also have the menu button. Let me connect my Android device so we can look at these things properly. As I'm saying these things, I'm sure most of us use Android devices, so we'll be able to relate with all these things I'm talking about. So notification and system icons. Each Android device has an area that contains system icons such as the clock, battery status, and status of the Wi-Fi and provider networks. Apps such as email, text messaging, Facebook often display status icons to indicate communication actively. To open the notification area on Android devices, swipe down from the top of the screen. You can do the following when notifications are open. Respond to a notification by touching it, dismiss a notification by swiping it off the screen, dismiss all notifications with the icon, and toggle often used settings. So the iOS interface is actually different. Unlike the Android device, the iOS is much has no navigation buttons at the bottom. It just has one single button, which is the home button, and no widgets and no app shortcuts. So the home button now on iOS, unlike Android devices do not use navigation icons to perform functions. Some iOS rather do not use navigation icons to perform functions. Some common functions performed by the home button include waking your device, that's turning on your device, and returning to your home screen and starting your Siri voice command. So now iOS notification center is actually at the top, and it displays all alerts in one location. So commonly used settings. iOS devices allow the user to quickly access common settings and switches even while locked. From the common use setting screen. A user can toggle often use settings such as airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, do not disturb, screen rotation lock, and the rest. All right, so I think I'm almost done with setting up. I'm going to be showing us the iOS Spotlight. So it actually shows suggestions from many sources, including the internet, iTunes, App Store, Movie Show, and nearby locations. So screen orientation, both iOS and Android support screen orientation. But one thing you need to know is that not all applications support screen rotation. So depending on the application that is being displayed, things like on an iPhone, the dialer does not support screen rotation. But on an Android device, the dialer actually supports screen rotation. I'm going to show us that. So I think what I need to do now is to quickly, just so that we can cover all at once, let me just quickly share my screen from my Android device and explain with it directly. Okay, so I've logged in with my Android device now. So I'm just going to share my screen. So please just let me know immediately you're able to see my screen.
Yes, I can see it now.
All right, all right. Let me quickly log into my iOS device. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I said earlier, as you can see here, this is actually the home button, which I'm just clicking right now. Then the recent app button, which is the one by the right, where you see your recent applications. I'm going to click on the home button and the back button. So if I come here, let me say I open up all my apps and I press back, it's going to go back. Then this is my notification panel, and it also contains my action center. So you can see all my notifications will display here or will be displayed right here. So I can either quickly respond to the notification here. I can click on view, mark as read, or swipe it away, and it goes out. So I can swipe it away. Then I've done that. Then almost completely setting up my iOS device, but I think I'll just hold up for now. All right, so let me just quickly settle that of Android before moving to iOS. So there's something called the GPS, which is Global Positioning System, and this actually helps you to detect your phone's location. So this is actually what you actually see is location. So this is it right here. So use GPS, Wi-Fi, and mobile networks to estimate your location. So this actually helps your phone to detect where the global positioning system of your phone, the global position of your phone on the globe. So let's assume I turn this off. Now, let's see. Let me open something like Google Maps. You can see device location for all apps is off. You may not be able to locate your device if it is lost. So I have to turn it on back. So let me just turn it on back. And when you see apps like Google App Bolt, I don't want to open that so it doesn't cut me off from the meeting. If I open those apps, because of the high graphic demand, but let me see if I can open up Google Maps. It actually uses my location. You can see even the icon has something like location on it. So opening this might take a while. So if my location was actually turned off, you can see now on my notification panel, my location icon has appeared to show that it is being used at the moment. So let's look at this. This is actually the button. This button right here, which is circle, is actually what's going to show my location. So once I just pinpoint, I'm going to pinpoint my location on the internet, and you can see my position where I am, and I can actually reduce this. So that's how the GPS works. It helps to position you or estimate your position on the map or your location on the map. So let me just quickly close this. So another thing we need to learn is about Wi-Fi calling. Wi-Fi calling enables you to make phone calls without your cellular network. So for example, if I'm connected to a Wi-Fi, I can actually make a call, and those kind of calls are actually achieved with some applications like Google Duo, Dial, and let me see if I can show you that. No, I won't be able to. I won't be able to do that because I'll be exposing some kind of contacts. So let me just skip that. So things like Google Duo, these applications enable you to do voice calls over the internet or video calls over the internet. So just like iOS has what is called FaceTime. So that's actually a video call. So sometimes on your Android device, you might see, let me just see if I can. Okay, if I click on this, so you can see Google Meet here, right? So that's an example of Wi-Fi calling. So Google Meet is an application that supports Wi-Fi calling. So even the WebEx application, what we're actually doing now is Wi-Fi calling because we're actually conversing with each other over the internet. Then NFC payments. This my device now doesn't currently support NFC. If it supported NFC, you are going to see it among one of these quick icons here. But my device doesn't support NFC. But NFC, like I said earlier and explained in I think that was our very first class. It helps you to make payments wirelessly with your mobile device. So we also have VPNs. I'm going to show you an example of a VPN. I think I have about 2 VPNs installed on my phone. So one is Windscribe. So Windscribe VPN is a virtual VPN means virtual private network, and it helps you to connect to public internet and secure your system at the same time. So if you want to open up VPN on your mobile device, you can just quickly go to the settings. From the settings, most times is in more. Okay, sorry, let me just search for it because Android has been updating. It's no longer following the normal pattern. So I'm just going to search for VPN and do it. This is not supposed to take long. Okay, it looks like I just disconnected. My phone just disconnected. Let me just quickly reconnect again. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let me quickly share my screen back. Okay, so I was going to show us where the VPN is. So under security, biometrics and security, then I went to other security, then okay, I think it was under more connections. I saw it before, not under security on my mobile device. More connection settings. Okay, so you can see VPN here. Once I select VPN, you can see no VPNs here. So if I want to add the virtual private network profile, I can actually do that from here. But then you can also use applications, mobile applications. So if you want to create a custom VPN, you can always do that. But some devices do not support this, but mine actually supports it. It sets the encryption and the rest. Then next is I'm going to show you how to set up the security of your phone. To do that, you have to locate biometrics and security on your phone. For example, my phone does not use fingerprint, but it has face recognition. So you can see face recognition registered. So once I select it, I'll have to input my PIN, which I can't be doing in our class. So when you go to face recognition, you can actually select the kind of password you want. And you can also update the security of your phone, which you can see security updates here. Mine was updated last on the 1st of March. Then more biometric settings. So you can see this is actually where you would select your security. Then there are also other places where you now need to set your password. In places like where you see your screen lock, let me just input my password here. So I've opened where my screen lock is, and you can see different patterns of unlocking my screen. Swipe has no security. If I set it to swipe, it means I'm going to remove my password. So let's say I'm setting to swipe. It's going to remove, you can see your face data will be removed from your security. If you are using face authentication in apps, you will need to register your face again to use those apps. So you can see that. Then PIN, you can see PIN is actually a way of securing your phone. I can change it to pattern. So I can actually draw pattern if I want to. So if I draw a pattern and I click on next, I have to draw it again the second time, and I click on confirm. So it means that when next I lock my phone, it's going to show me pattern. So let me just, okay, I just found out that my phone actually has a security that if I open anything that has to do with passwords, you can't see my screen. My phone is going to show blank while you are seeing it. I'm just noticing that from my computer system. When I opened, I'm going to try and open up my screen lock again and change. Right now, you can see my phone is actually showing a blank screen, but on my own end from my mobile device, it's asking me to draw my pattern, which my phone is actually protecting me from everyone that I see in my screen. So that's actually one of the security features that are available on this voice. You can see now it's pattern that is the current lock type. So I can actually change it to PIN. So you can see my screen has gone blank again. My screen has gone blank again, but I'm actually imputing my PIN on my phone. So that's actually a security feature that has been enabled. So you can see it's telling me to back up my pin to my cloud. So I've done that. Then virtual assistant. Virtual assistant is actually available on all mobile devices. And on Android devices, what you see is Google, Hey Google, or Google Assistant rather. So Google Assistant now, for you to call up your Google Assistant, most times if you have it turned on, you can just say a word like okay Google and your Google Assistant will come on, or you just hold down the home button for long. Once you hold down the home button for long, this AI, I can actually talk to this AI and do anything. And nowadays, Google Assistant has been upgraded to the point that if you want to search for a song, you can actually hum the music and it's going to search for the song for you online. So it's actually listening to what I'm saying. Let me just quickly remove it. Okay, I've talked about methods of securing your mobile device and the GPS. Okay, also antivirus. There are some antiviruses you can use on your mobile device, which are available on the Google Play. So if you want virus, you see advanced security. So let me just quickly search for antivirus. So you're going to see many applications. So you can see Norton. Norton is a well-known antivirus. It's both available on PCs and Android. You can see AVG. So these antiviruses will help you to scan your device for malicious softwares, spammers, and bugs that hackers have planted into your device, and to help you to clear them. Okay, so there's something also we call routing. I can't show us that here because that's actually purely a developer tool, but there's something that enables you. I'm just going to show us one. Okay, I already did that to my phone, so it's not going to work. So if you open your phone settings, if you open up your phone settings and you go to, you can see now my phone has developer options where I can tweak some settings on my phone. Let me just show you one of the things I can tweak on my phone. Let me go to smallest width. So minimum width. So right now it's on 411 dp, which is supposed to be dots per inch. So 411 dpi. So I can, if I actually increase this number to 450, let's watch what happens to my screen. You just see how everything is going to reduce in size. Wow, did you see that? My keyboard became smaller, and you're going to see that every text is going to become smaller. So you can see the text are now smaller. How about I reduce it? Let's reduce it to 350, and let's see how every time my screen becomes bigger. Now watch how everything on my screen becomes bigger. Still loading. So you can see now everything is bigger now. You can see that, right? So these are developer options available for you on your Android device. That's why Android is actually open source. I'm just going to take that back to 411. I love it that way. So that's why Android device is actually open source. You're allowed to tweak your device the way you want. But if you go ahead and root your device, it's going to enable you to do more tweaks on your phone. So for most of us, developer options is not going to be available on our settings. If you want to make developer options available in your settings, you have to go to about phone, because we're going to be having things like about phone, where you see the information of your phone, the model of your phone, how many RAM is available, and the rest. So I'm going to go to software information. Some of yours might just open up completely, but this is how Samsung arranged theirs. So what you are going to actually do is that when in your software information where you see your Android 12, look for something called the build number. Now, when you see the build number, it's going to tell you to, you can see my phone is bringing up a pop-up. Developer mode has already been turned on. So if yours is not turned on, it's going to tell you are going to need to tap on build number for some amount of time. It's going to tell you to tap like 3 more times or 5 more times to turn on developer mode. So once you turn on developer mode, you're going to have the ability to manipulate the way your Android device looks like. So that will be all for Android device. So let's move over the iOS device. Let me just quickly stop sharing this screen. All right, so I've connected on my iOS device. So I'm just going to try to share my screen. Siri. Oh, I just discovered that my screen stopped sharing as a result of battery low. Let me try again. So those applications that will enable me to locate my phone on the web. I'll just take some questions before we call it a day. Any questions so far? Okay, no questions, no questions. All right. In that case, we would call it a day and we'll see in our next class. Thank you very much.